Back here on America's Weather Center, multiple tornadoes hitting towns from the mid-Mississippi and the lower Ohio valleys through the southeast once again yesterday. And then into early this morning, we continued to track storms. Lots of damage to homes and businesses as severe thunderstorms barreled across those regions. This marked the 8th consecutive day of severe weather, causing widespread damage. Now, May, typically the peak month for tornadoes in the U.S. Confirmed tornadoes reported in Alabama, Tennessee, and Illinois last night as widespread severe thunderstorms led to not just tornado warnings, but then you had the wind damage and the hail. The U.S. on track to see more tornadoes this year than in 2024, which was the second busiest tornado year on record. The damage estimated to this string of storms that started last week, anywhere between $9 and $11 billion. Incredible. Now, we take a look at the last 24 hours and we have this energy shifting across the lower Ohio, Tennessee, Mississippi valleys. And this is where we had more than 400 reports of severe weather, ranging from tornado damage to damaging straight line winds and hail reports as well. It was up in Illinois, Latham and Paxton, where you had emergency managements reporting rain-wrapped tornadoes. And so that brings this added danger of not being able to see what's coming in your direction. So we always say, take these warnings seriously and get to that safe place as quickly as possible. Going out to survey these storm damaged paths, the National Weather Service survey team has been busy across multiple offices the last several days. Over in Madison here in northern Alabama, a roof torn off of a 2-story home because of a suspected tornado. Now, when we look back at this string of 8 days, it really all began as we went Thursday into Friday. Thursday night, we were tracking storms across parts of the upper Midwest. That then shifted into the Ohio Valley as we started off the weekend, going Friday night into Saturday with just devastating tornadoes. The power in these storms, a lot of folks picking up the pieces over the weekend, over this past week, and now looking forward to what's still to come in this busy forecast. We do get a touch of a break. We kind of close out this severe stretch, the most potent activity, with our Sunday into Monday stretch across the plains, and then that eventually worked its way into parts of the southeast where we had multiple reports of tornadoes, damaging winds, also some monstrous hail. Since May 14th, we've had at least 86 confirmed tornadoes across the country. And when you look, there's not one particular zone that was the hot spot. I mean, it's spread all over from the plains up through the Great Lakes into the Mid-South, and then even here onto the Northeast into the 95 corridor. Reports of tornadoes outside of Washington, D.C., South Jersey, outside of the Cape. Surveys are ongoing, but as far as our strongest tornadoes, we've had at least, a dozen or more that were EF2 or greater. We also, too, had the EF4 strength tornadoes out of London, Kentucky, and Marion, Illinois. When we look at Sunday afternoon, kind of looking back at a tornado emergency that took place, which always is reserved for the highest level of threat, where you need to get to a safe place as quickly as possible, because this is a tornado that is destructive and moving into populated areas. Now, we had the radar signature classic through Greensburg. You had that hook, that hail core up through the forward flank, and then you had the debris signature that popped on radar, and that continued to push up to the northeast. Strong rotation, and this occurring in the dark of night back on Sunday, May 18th, 9:55, and so that added danger of not being able to see what's coming in your direction with that tight area of rotation. Now, it wasn't just through Greensburg. We watched this continue to push through Plevna, Kansas as well. 1150, so a long-lived supercell that cycled continued to strengthen, and then we had that classic structure, perhaps even more dangerous when you see that little debris ball signature on reflectivity that of course is shown here in that debris tracker as well. So in a very volatile atmosphere that we've had over the last several days, I want to take you to St. Louis, Missouri, where during the peak hours of the afternoon, you had this tornadic supercell that pushed through the northwestern suburbs. EF3 rating here out of St. Louis, on the ground for at least 22 miles, max width a mile wide. Impressive, right? And when we look at the damage that had been done, it was again the northwestern suburbs jumped up over the river and then continued up towards the Interstate 270, I-70 corridor up towards Glen Carbon. But it was in this community here, you can break out some of the streets where we had that tornadic path and the EF3 damage that had been sustained to thousands of homes and businesses that were impacted by this dangerous tornado. You see it here on radar, and again, classic structure, that hook echo, and then the debris signature and that debris ball that you could see on radar as it tracked its way through the northwestern suburbs of St. Louis, lofting up debris from homes and businesses. So a lot of folks are picking up the pieces, are beginning the cleanup process of where do we go from here, and we're going to continue to tell those stories at Fox Weather.